Hello, everyone. It's Tommy Lee Hayes Brown with Rito Recognition. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we have a special treat, Roy Saunderson. He's our Chief Learning Officer, key recognition strategist, and global thought leader in the employee recognition industry, is going to do a webinar with us today. He's the author of many articles and books, including his latest, Practicing Recognition. It's the first in a series of practical and strategic books on giving recognition the correct way. Roy's a regular contributor to Training Magazine and Incentive Magazine, and was chosen as one of the 25 most influential people in the incentive industry in 2017 and 2018. He's one of the world's foremost thought leaders in employee recognition and engagement and strategy. He consults and educates leaders and employee workforces in companies, governments, and associations around the world. But today, Roy's with us. He's going to share with us his webinar titled, Is Your Recognition Engaging People? A very interesting topic because a lot of us think we're doing the right things, but are we really taking the steps to really understand if our recognition is doing what we want it to do, which should be to engage our workforce? A couple of housekeeping items before we turn it over to Roy. If you have any questions, please submit them by using the button on the left side of your screen, and I'll collect any questions or comments while Roy shares with us and be back in a bit to share those with you and with Roy. So without further ado, my friend, Roy Saunderson.
Thank you very much, Tommy Lee, and it's good to be with everyone today. I'm glad that you're joining us on another Rito webinar. We love doing these because we're trying to address some of the key issues and questions that you have kind of submitted or asked us in different ways, and we wanted to kind of create these kind of bite-sized webinars to give you some insights on what you can do to improve recognition where you work. So it's an interesting topic, this whole area of is your recognition engaging people? And I think this is something that we certainly need to understand better to know how we can make recognition a driver of engagement. And I want to share with you some insights, some research, and some ideas to consider as we move things forward and hopefully change that engagement scores and engagement dial that you have in your organization. So first off, I always love to just set the stage for our webinars. And today, in what we're looking for engaging recognition, is like, what do you need to do for your recognition to be that kind of engaging quality? And these are some of the basic ingredients. It's not the only ones that you need. And that is, obviously, there needs to be trust and respect between everyone in your organization. Trust and respect are just foundational principles for having recognition be seen as authentic and real. And there must be positive relationship strength between your manager, with your colleagues. And so we need to work on building relationships. And as you know, probably from the Gallup 12 survey that they have, that having a friend at work is important. And we need to treat everyone in a more friend-like mode and work together. And obviously, we have to make sure that we're delivering effective recognition moments when we're giving recognition, and that our recognition is meaningful and given frequently. People want to know that recognition is being received on a regular basis. So these are some of the kind of areas that we need to look at for creating engaging recognition. And I want to give you some insights on this. So we're going to look at the amazing impact that you can have with your recognition. I want to just kind of show you some interesting statistics first. So recognition, rewards, and engagement. Now, for the second year in a row, the 2018 Aon Trends in Global Employee Engagement showed that rewards and recognition dimension is the strongest driver of engagement. I thought I needed to put this out here because I think it's important to realize how significant recognition and rewards are on driving engagement. Now, what's interesting is that Aon looked down, dived down into their analysis of their metrics and found out that it was recognition for contributions beyond the pay and benefits that was the key factor in driving employee engagement. And fair pay, which everyone seems to want more of course, provides only a supportive role in putting rewards and recognition at the top. Now, what's interesting, I need you to know that a lot of these consultancies, especially in the compensation and rewards area, for example, tend to use the expression rewards and engagement, as you see. But what I want to kind of suggest to everyone is that you turn that around and you make it recognition first and rewards second. Because recognition should come first and rewards always be the secondary factor. And I've often said, and my colleagues all know this, that when you give recognition, you do not have to give a reward. But whenever you give a reward, you must always accompany it with recognition. So keep that in mind and realize that recognition and rewards are a powerful driver for employee engagement. How does this work? Well, we're going to dive in a little further. So I want to talk first of all about peer-to-peer recognition and how it boosts engagement. This is done by a competitor of ours, so it's not our work, but I'll certainly share with you some of our own work. So JetBlue was researched by Sean Aker. You may have known him from his book, The Happiness Advantage. Wrote up a Harvard Business Review in 2016 that showed that in this one company, JetBlue Airlines, how they had a peer-to-peer recognition program. And of course, peer-to-peer recognition is just so organic, so natural. When you see something, you say something, and you go on and you send like an e-card, or you post a statement, a comment on the social news feed, and other people can add to that. So it's very encouraging, very natural outreach. Now, I need to indicate that the provider of their recognition program also accompanied the social recognition with points or rewards. So it gets a little cloudy that it wasn't just a pure social recognition program, it was social recognition plus rewards. But as you see on the far right, for every 10% increase where people said that they were recognized, there was a 3% increase in retention and a 2% increase in employee engagement scores. What's cool about this is we have to get into the kind of mode of thinking where we are looking at the outputs of our recognition measures and we're accompanying it with our various key performance metrics that we want to see a correlation with. We went and did the same thing. Over the last 10 years, we have been looking at how recognition programs can boost employee engagement. One of our clients is RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, and they have an array of our programs. They have one of our social recognition programs. They have performance recognition and reward programs where people receive points for achieving various goals and performance and productivity measures. And they also have a nomination for awards. They have a monthly, quarterly, and of course the best of the best at the end of the year, where managers can nominate various employees for the more outstanding reward programs, where they have a quarterly, I think it is, a award event, and they also have an annual event. So all these things are going on. Now, what's very important, as I alluded to earlier, is that you need to kind of draw upon your recognition program metrics, your reward program metrics, and pull out the data from there. And we have accompanied our scores with a perception metrics where employees actually give a rating of how good their manager is at giving recognition. I've always felt this was important because it's one thing to use these programs, but sometimes it can be too mechanical, too artificial, or maybe the managers are feeling like, oh, cute, I'm going to be held accountable for how well I use the program at the end of the month or end of the quarter. But how well are they doing? How effective? What's the quality of the recognition that's being given? And so we allow employees to chime in and give feedback as to how well their managers are recognizing them. So we've got all these measures. We've got a recognition outputs, we have a recognition perception, and from it, we create a recognition quotient score, an RQ score. And that shows us how well their managers are scoring on using recognition effectively and often. And we correlate these metrics with the business and people metrics, employee engagement, as well as perhaps with the banking, with their sales solutions metrics. We've also coupled this with educating managers on how to give better recognition. We've created some online learning modules that assist managers on learning how to be more specific with the behaviors they need to do to give better quality recognition. And here's the key. Those managers who have received more education, taken the online bite-sized micro-learning to learn these effective recognition behaviors, score better. They score better on the usage of their programs, but they also score better on the perception from their employees. Furthermore, they have improved results. As you can see on the right, the client sales solutions increased by over 18% from those managers who use the programs better after taking more of the learning. And they had almost 4% increase in the employee engagement questions on their employee opinion survey. So these are the kinds of benefits that you get when you engage employees through better engaged recognition programs. So now we get to the interesting point, and that is that recognition, as we've defined it for you, how does it impact positive relationships? And that's the key. What our research has shown is that recognition improves the positive relationship strength that a giver of recognition, whether that be a manager or a peer, has with the recipient of recognition. And there already has to be that trust and respect and sincerity going on between one another. And the individual needs to be valuing the person as well as the performance or behaviors that the contributions that that individual made on the job. So it's my premise that recognition doesn't go directly to improving employee engagement. It goes to improving the positive relationship strength between the giver and the receiver, the manager and the employee, the peer and their colleague. And it's that positive relationship strength that in turn improves employee engagement. My point is this: you could be receiving recognition and have a lousy relationship with the giver, whether that be manager or peer. So just because you gave recognition doesn't mean to say it was received in a positive way. And if it wasn't received in a positive way, you aren't going to get an improved employee engagement. It has to be in recognition given with positivity in mind from both managers and employees. And it's that positive relationship strength that really moves the dial on employee engagement, where they're willing to commit to growth and development within the company, and they're willing to kind of make a more purposeful effort on being a part of the company by doing great work done well. And this is what we're aiming for. So keep this in mind. It's not just recognition alone. It's also the positivity, the relationship strength that exists that moves the bar, moves the dial, moves the scale on employee engagement, which I think is very important to keep in mind. So, as you can see, the point I'm trying to make is that engaging recognition, it's the increased positive relationship strength between a manager and an employee that improves employee engagement, and not recognition alone. So keep this in mind as you're working on, the practices that need to occur and the usage of your recognition programs. You need to make sure that there is relationship building, caring, concern going on amongst your employees, your associates, your colleagues, and with everyone involved, so that really everyone can feel the recognition.
And Roy, how do we get in contact with you?
Funny you should ask, Tommy Lee. You can email me here.
Roll today.
Whoa, good cue. So here's the email where you can reach me at. You can also follow me on Twitter. If you'd like to also learn more about recognition, you can go to my blog at authenticrecognition.com. And I'll give you a little insight here. I also have my latest book. And for those of you who go to my blog page, you'll find an opportunity to download a free copy of the book. So that's for you to benefit from. And if you want to know more about the company I work for at Rideau Recognition Solutions, please visit us at rideau.com or give us a call. We'd love to be able to help you with your recognition needs and provide you the solutions that you would like.
Absolutely. Let me just tell you this. He means it. So contact him. Contact us, and we will be happy to share what we have. There's a lot of great resources at rideau.com. We have a thought leadership library. All we ask is that you register, and you have access to tons of information. And let me just give my friend here a little recognition as well. Roy's blog is going to be a great resource for you. I go there all the time. I was just telling a coworker this morning, we were trying to figure out content for our social media calendar. And I said, why are we racking our brains? I know Roy has this topic on his blog somewhere. We went to your blog, Roy, and there it was. So, there's just a wealth of information. You've been collecting that stuff for years.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what it is, Tommy Lee? It's been based on the questions that people ask me.
Really?
That tend to be the topics that I write about.
So it's kind of like what's it called when one creature feeds off? It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, virtuous cycle.
Yeah. So we give you questions, you get the answers, and then other people can benefit from.
Absolutely, and it'll likely become a blog near you, a blog or a webinar near you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So do yourself a favor. Go to rideau.com. Go ahead and register. We're no money. We're just asking for your name and email, and you'll have access to all of that. Thank you again, Roy. Another great webinar. We appreciate you. Until next time.
Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.